Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk all news, comics, and media related to the... This week, we have some IDW solicits for June 2022, news about a musical guest for TFcon Toronto, and we review Transformers BotBots, available now on Netflix. Today is Friday, April 1st, 2022, and this is episode 279 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that thinks all its listeners are SOBs. April Fools. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we started the show by thanking our Donatreon, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and keep the show going. Really appreciate you doing that for us. And we welcome the newest Donatreon, a good friend of the show, the man named Bambi. And he has signed on for a whole year of Donatreon support. So thank you for trusting us up front for 12 months. Really appreciate it. And one of the perks, of course, of being a Donatreon is that you get access to our bonus uncut early episodes of Empire of Rust, the Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. This week we had episode 72 go out on the main feed. So next week you're going to get episode 73 early. So this is Attack of the Mini Clones. This will be available exclusively to Donatrons on the Patreon page. And everyone who wants the regular Empire of Rust episode, that will be out following week. So all our Donatrons get the episode early, get to listen to all the outtakes, and get all the spoilers ahead of time. All right, let's jump right into some comics news. First up, we've got more covers for the Last Bot Standing #2. This is coming in June of this year. So this is the series written by Nick Roche with art by E.J. Sue. And we've got cover A, which is art by Nick Roche, and the retailer incentive cover by E.J. Sue. So you can check out those images. Of course, Nick Roche is probably most well known for his art, but he is also a great writer as well. He wrote Last Stand of the Wreckers, and I think it basically wrote all the Wreckers series for IDW, and now he's writing Last Bot Standing. But now the difference is he's not doing the interior art for this. A twist there, but yeah, check this out. And Nick Roche also put out the line art for his cover on Twitter, so you can see we've got the finished product and just the line art by itself. Take a look at that. We've also got the cover art for War's End, issue #4, and this is art by Phil Murphy. This is coming out in May of this year, so just a couple of months. And that is going to end the War's End miniseries where hopefully the threat of X-Archon, the evil Transformer threefold spark from the past, hopefully will be stopped by both the Autobots and Decepticons. But we'll see. But it might be War's End literally, because everyone loses and X-Archon takes over. I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's move on to Transformers media news.
All right, in media news this week, we've just got a couple of some concept designs from Eric Siebenaler for Cyberverse. So we've got a Dino mode for Slug, and we've got a robot mode for Snarl, and these both look great. These concept arts from Eric's, I don't know where he's been posting them, probably on like Instagram or something like that. But they're on the TFW 2005, and we got them linked in the show notes. These are really nice. I really like the design. Really G1 inspired, and got a lot of like modern, angles and pointiness to them. I really like the way they look. And then we've got the last little bit here is the Transformers Earthspark cartoon. We've got a premiere date for that, and it's going to be on Paramount Plus. So look for it to be aired this fall. That's not really a date,
November.
So yeah, November. There's not a set date, but it's still a ways off. But that's the if you forget that what the Earthspark one is, if you remember, we've talked about it before on the show. That's the one where all the Autobots have this weird insignia. They don't have the Autobot insignia on them, to start, and it's kind of it came out with a trailer. If you look it up, we can
12-second trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. But the big question mark on this one was the this insignia that's on all the Autobots. But it's the one that's being done by the Irish animation studio.
Alita 1 is there. She figures somehow into the show some way. She's
Right.
standing right next to Op.
Yeah. Right on.
And it'll also be on Nickelodeon as well, but I think it's going to be on Paramount Plus first.
Right.
And
well,
Boulder Media
that's for
has-
you. That's for you guys. So for
Paramount Plus
outside
is
of
global.
well, I don't have it.
It's available.
Is it?
I think so.
Because all the Star Trek stuff, and I don't know if that's I don't know. I haven't really looked into whether or not I can get it. But maybe I should.
Yeah, it's available in Canada.
And Boulder
You can see
Media
the new
also
Halo.
did the BotBots cartoon as well.
Oh, yes. Good segue into the BotBots cartoon, which we are going to talk about right now because it is now available on Netflix. So it is 10 episodes, and it's really 20 because each episode is 2 episodes. So that's kind of fun. So you feel like you're getting 2 for the price of 1 in each episode. The show is. Are we spoiling this? Or what are we doing here?
I mean, it's Netflix. They dropped it all at once.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's been a week, so at this point, I mean, and there's nothing really to spoil. It's a kids show. It's not. There's no like huge plot. I mean, I guess there's one major twist at the end, but it's not. It's not.
Well, I haven't gotten to the end yet, so you can
Oh, okay.
I'm not too worried about getting spoiled on it. I was planning to watch it with my daughter, and she lost interest pretty quick, but that's to be expected. She's kind of out of the age range on this. The main cast is this Misfits, these lost and found toys. We kind of knew that going in because it had been in the trailer. And the first episode, you find out that the main, forget his name already. I watched an episode today. Burgertron. I was actually going to say Burgertron. But so he actually gets exiled from his group of the again, I forget his original
Hunger Hubs.
This is going to be terrible. These factions that are just ridiculous. So he gets exiled from them, and then is found by these lost and found bots, and then adventures ensue. So I'm going to throw it over to you guys because you guys have watched considerable more of these than I have. I think I'm only 3 episodes into the series, but I've been enjoying it. It's very cute. It's definitely a kid's show. I would put it above Rescue Bots, and definitely above Rescue Bots Academy, but it's fun. I get a there's been a lot of comparisons made to like Teen Titans Go, but I don't think I think it's below that. Teen Titans Go, there was an awful lot of references that that parents could get, while you watch that show. There's not a lot of that in this show. It's fun. There's definitely some funny moments, but Teen Titans Go had some, ridiculously funny bits that parents, watching it with their kids would get. And I haven't seen any of that in this show. So, Charles, why don't you tell me what your impressions have been on the BotBots cartoon?
Yeah, I agree with you, Daryl. For the most part, I think it's a cute show, and actually, there was more to it than I thought there was going to be when I first started watching it. So, I was expecting it to be like, in the kind of Teen Titans mold where it's episodic. Every cartoon they're doing a little, adventure or whatever. But it does have like a through line throughout the entire season. Like it's not, each episode is pretty self-contained and they have a single adventure, but they do tie into this whole overarching quest of trying to get back into get re-accepted by the other BotBots and the rest of the mall. How these BotBots are outcasts, and every episode they're trying to do something to get back into the graces of the rest of the BotBots. So that kind of underpins their entire adventure throughout the whole season, which is nice, and it does have a resolution at the very end, which is cool. I like the human Dave, who is kind of the bumbling idiot throughout the whole show, and he's pretty good comic relief. But I think there are three things, like just off the top of my head, three things that I thought that I was surprised by, that I wasn't expecting to see, that were really entertaining for me. So like one was a parody of Hamilton. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting like an episode that was a commentary on climate change, which was really interesting. And I wasn't expecting a cupcake vampire, Frostferatu. I thought he was
great.
He was great. And Daryl, I know you said you only watched like the first three episodes. With Frostferatu shows up like throughout the whole series, so he comes back,
good. That's good.
several times.
Yeah.
So, so those three things made the series for me, and it was fun throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, I think kids will love this. I think it also has, enough. The writing is intelligent enough for adults to not be super bored watching it with their kids, and I think it's it's a good cartoon for kids to enjoy, and for old timers to still have fun with it. So, yeah, I like it.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it. I just, I'm not going to binge it. I'm not going to sit there and just kind of go through every single episode, back to back to back. It's nice to just, I've got a few minutes here. I'm just going to kind of, crank one off, and then it just, it's a nice, light show to just, maybe finish off a day with. It's kind of fun. Jeremy, what are,
I wouldn't have used the phrase "crank one off," but I hope you're just watching the show and enjoying it.
They're on in the background.
Okay.
No, they're enjoyable. But yeah, I was gonna say pound one out, but that's worse.
It is.
No, it's
not that kind of show.
It's definitely no, it's not. And no, and I kid. It's a children's show, and please don't do that to the BotBots. It's Jeremy.
Yeah.
How was your BotBots experience?
Obviously not as enjoyable as yours. But I mean, I liked it. It was fun. It was very light. Although I did feel really bad for Dave as the series goes on, because it's just like, I mean, he just needs a little bit of love. He's just, I don't know. We often talk about like humans in the Transformers series and stuff, and he is like the opposite of what we normally get. And just, I don't know. It was neat to see them trying to hide from him and stuff, and just see how lonely his life was. But I enjoyed it. The Hamilton homage was a big surprise, like Charles said. Another thing that I didn't realize until after I'd watched it and I saw him tweet about it was the musician Word Burglar voiced one of the Science Alliance bots, the Telescope. And I think they also had a rap. So I thought that was really cool. But I think the show, even before, like when we got the first trailer and we kind of saw the overall description, I knew from the start it was going to be, they're supposed to try to find their squads, but you knew from the very beginning they were finding that they were their own squad, and I knew that going in. But it was a fun way, like the journey to get there was fun. The jokes were squarely in the, people that like Teen Titans Go and shows like that. It's just like totally in that same vein. I agree. Teen Titans Go is probably a little higher up, but this was just so enjoyable. And I watched it with my son, and it was great just watching him watch the show. And then by episode 3 or 4, he was singing along with the theme song. And it's got one of the better theme songs that we've had in recent years for Transformers. It's very kind of stick in your head type of song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I when you said Word Burglar, I just that tickled something in my brain, because he's following us on Twitter now. He just started following us on Twitter.
Probably because I just started following him. I don't know if I followed him from the podcast account or not, but I saw that. No, I like retweeted him. I probably retweeted him from the podcast.
You weren't following him from the podcast, because I just followed him on the, podcast account. So.
But I retweeted him when he announced that.
But if you're listening, if you're out there, Word Burglar, maybe call us. Maybe we can have you on, talk about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about his stuff. He did that an album, like I think in the last year or two, like all Transformers themed, and does great like geek themed raps, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my biggest complaints about the show is like most of the characters are very early BotBots, so if you're trying to find them, it's probably gonna be hard to find some of them. So I do hope that they come out with like re-releases. But some of the newer stuff, like the Series 6, like the cars that were announced and stuff, those are in the show, and that was very smart of Hasbro. So yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Also for Mike, there's a role-playing episode with dice.
Yeah, LARPing. So it hits so many different little geek things just for adults. Like kids, if you're 7 years old, you don't know what LARPing is. You probably don't know what RPGs are. But it was a fun episode for kids, and then, adults would get all the jokes. I thought they did that very well.
Yeah.
Right on. But you're not done, are you? You did something special for the show. Because this show is not our age bracket. This is a young kid show, and you are the only one on the show with a young kid, other than
you have a young kid, but
I have a baby. But it's a little too old for him. But you've got one right in the right in the wheelhouse for this show. So what did you do?
Yeah, so I figured, the best opinion of the show is probably not a bunch of 40-plus-year-olds. It's probably more 7-year-olds. So
Very generous of you to say that about Charles, but yeah, that's
I'm not 50 yet, Daryl, so I am 40 plus.
Anyway,
we're
so
all
I
40
sat
plus.
Yeah. So anyway, I sat down with my son and recorded his thoughts of the show. So we're going to play it now. It's just a few minutes because it basically I recorded until his hands started reaching out for stuff on my desk. And I'm like, okay, we're wrapping up. So here is what we recorded. Hello, everyone. I am here with my son, Alex. You say hi.
Hey.
And we are going to be seeing what Alex thought about the BotBots show, because I think that having a 7-year-old's perspective is probably better than having a bunch of 40-year-old guys talking about it. So, Alex, what did you think of BotBots?
I think that it was mostly funny, and I thought some of the BotBots looked cool and what they transformed into, but I think the funniest character had to be Clogstopper. In like the first couple episodes, Clogstopper was eating gum off the wall.
You like him because he's gross.
And he was also eating actual nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. So, we finished it last night. Did you like how it ended? Yeah. Would you like to see more? Would you like them to make a season 2?
I would like them to make 18 seasons.
18. Okay. That would be a very long series. That would be a record for Transformers. But
Hey, Clone Wars has 7 seasons.
yeah.
And that's really long because the first season has so many episodes.
Yeah. We're not talking about Star Wars.
Oh.
We're talking about Transformers. So, we've been talking about the BotBot show for a long time because they announced it a long time ago, and you kept asking me over and over,
Yep.
when is the show coming out? And I'm like, they haven't told us. So, how did you like getting to watch it early?
I liked it a lot. And then, since I already have some BotBot toys, most of those toys are actually not in the show.
They're not,
Yeah.
but they have some new ones that are.
Yeah, but one of the only ones that I saw that was in the show was FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO. I think.
He's the camera.
Yeah. So, besides Clogstopper, who do you think was some of your favorite characters?
Sprinkleberry.
What did Sprinkleberry say?
BotBots.
Anyone else?
I like the throw up one, but the only thing I don't get from the throw up one, it's a liquid. So how does it transform into a solid?
Yeah.
And then there's also a poop one. And then
Yeah, the poop one is one of the new ones you can get.
yeah. And I am also excited that today is the last day of school before spring break.
Yeah. Well, I think, do you have anything else you want to say about BotBots? I mean, do you have you been telling your friends they need to watch it?
I told them today that it comes out.
Had they heard about BotBots before?
Nope.
Not. Hopefully they watch it. So you think it's a show that kids would enjoy?
Yep.
No, you're big into watching things like Phineas and Ferb now. How would you compare it?
Both really funny.
Yeah. They both have music.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, anything else you want to say?
Yeah. I think the science BotBots are some of the coolest ones.
Yeah, the science. What were they called? The science. Oh, can't remember.
Yeah. I'll have to watch the last couple episodes.
Yeah. All right. Well, can you say till all our fun?
What?
That's what they said at the end of it. They said till all our fun.
Tell all our fun?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Because Optimus says till all our one.
Oh.
So, anyway, well, thanks for telling us about BotBots. And now you're playing with the microphone. So can you say bye?
Bye.
Science Alliance.
Yes. That's one of those things you remember after the Anyway, yeah, he seemed to enjoy it.
Definitely 7-year-olds like the gross stuff.
Yeah. And the vomit one is one of the new Series 6 figures.
Liked how he is confused, and rightfully so, that a liquid should not be able to transform into a solid without some kind of external, manipulation.
Yeah, but you gotta suspend your disbelief.
I don't get it. Why? Why should I have to?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was fun. If you ever try to record something with a kid, it's always a challenge.
Right on. All right. Well, that's it for media news. Back to you, Charles.
All right. And let's move on to convention news.
All right. Just one thing here. TFcon Toronto in July 8th through 10th. They have announced that Vince DiCola will be there. That's awesome. Vince DiCola is also, he posted after this was announced that they had asked him after TFcon LA, and it worked out with his schedule. So he's going, and I think that'll be awesome. So he'll have a Q&A panel and autograph sessions. And I would imagine he's going to have stuff to sell. In the past, he's had CDs and stuff. So hopefully he has those. If not, and if you have any of the soundtracks and stuff, bring them to get signed. And yeah, so that'll be awesome. That's all we got for convention news this week.
And we'll finish up the show with feedback. And we've got another voicemail from a friend of the show and Masterpiece Donatreon, John 4X Levengood. He's got some more comments on Daryl and Beast Wars.
Oh boy.
Hey guys, John 4X Levengood here again. I'm just calling to defend Daryl, number one Beast Wars fan, on his not wanting to watch Beast Wars. And I get it. Now, I'm not against Beast Wars. I enjoy the actual show. However, I get it because I feel very similarly in the same way to the original series Star Trek and a couple other classic movies, TV shows, including the first season of The Next Generation and Psycho. All of them have a specific style to me that really just grates on me, and I just cannot stand to watch it. And I've tried. I tried to watch the original series a handful of times. I just couldn't do it. To me, it feels like they're filmed with somebody sitting in the seats of a theater, and just no camera movement, anything to make me feel like I'm actually watching a TV show. So I just can't stand it. Now, I like the Star Trek movies, the original movies, and I like TV shows and other from those eras and stuff like that. It's just the way that they're filmed, to me, just grates on me. And so I get why Daryl may not want to watch Beast Wars. Until next time, bye.
Well, there you go. Thanks, John.
Words of encouragement for Daryl a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting because I grew up watching the original Star Trek reruns, but I mean it definitely looks very hokey compared to modern sci-fi, so I can understand that. But yeah, I mean it's still a good show, Daryl. I know your eyes are burning, but it's still a good show.
I can say similarly to John, I've always had a problem, and I've tried to push myself through it watching black and white movies or TV shows, and yeah, I just never liked it, and I had to force myself to watch a lot of it because I took film criticism in college, and you had to watch a lot of old shit, so and some of it was the original, like the first ever movies and stuff, and they're not great, but they're the first, right? So you watch them, and yeah, but yeah, I totally get it. That's probably John and I probably feel very similarly towards that kind of stuff. So, but not Beast Wars.
Personally, I feel like you eventually get used to it as you're watching it. But if you just like take a short section, it's jarring. But then like as you're 20 minutes into the episode, you're used to it.
Mm. So it's your eyes getting used to the dark kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. I mean, because the story is engaging, and then your brain just kind of fills in the gaps with the missing pixels.
All right, thanks, John, for sending that in, and that's definitely an interesting perspective, and I think it lines up with what Daryl's been articulating. So, thanks for. I'm sure Daryl appreciates the vote of confidence.
I do. John, your crazy matches my crazy.
All right, well, that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. So thank you again to John Forex Levengood, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Curtis Akon. We really appreciate you contributing to the show at our highest level. So that's why we give you a shout out every week. And that's it. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.
All right, let's move on to Transformers media news.
All right. Sorry, I was watching something on Twitter.
Yeah.
Apparently, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars.
Yeah, I just like in between shows, I saw that come across.
Holy fuck!
Why?
Chris Rock said a joke about Will Smith's wife, and
Yeah.
Will walked up from the fucking audience and hit him on stage and then walked back to his
Really?
seat and was screaming at him. This is
What was the joke?
I don't know.
It said, Jada, love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it.
That's worth a smack.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, Will Smith was like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Chris Rock just has bad luck. Every time he's at the Oscars, he makes a joke and people get really mad.
Apparently,
Remember when he made a joke about Jude Law and then Sean Penn got really pissed?
Mm-hmm.
apparently Jada has a disease that, like an autoimmune disorder that causes hair loss.
Oh,
It causes what?
Hair loss.
Oh,
So that's
kind of
why the
insensitive.
G.I. Jane joke.
okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just
Fair. Okay.
was watching this and they're like, watch it with closed captioning on and you can read see what Will Smith is saying. I mean, you really don't need it. You can read his lips, but holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's nuts. What the fuck are we doing this show? We should be watching the Oscars.
Never really wanted to watch the Oscars
but seriously,
before.
who would have thought the Oscars would be interesting?
Right.
Yeah. Jesus. All right, cool. I'm going to go back and do this again. I need to actually.
You didn't even get started. So.
No, I have to open up these fucking files and everything. You guys, you got to media news way too fast.
You were warned. We warned you.
I heard something about it when I was starting to read this thing. Like, what the hell happened here? Anyway, I'm gonna close Twitter so I can concentrate on my job. The shit
Daryl has lost his social media privileges during the podcast.
the shit I get in trouble for at work, like legitimately. So
Usually, people can't tell when we're checking social media during the show.
but it absolutely derailed this episode.
I actually saw it when we were talking with JP, and I was like checking Bleeding Cool to see something, and it was on there.
Oh,